Hello and welcome back to All Things Gumball. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. Before I go on and talk about the tip of the day, I have a question. A question for you. When is 61 more than 100? That's a good question. Now, when is 61 more than 100? When is 61 units more than 100 of those same units? I know sometimes when I give this question out, people will say $61 when it's 100 pennies. No, they have to be equal units. So if it's 61 pennies, when is 61 pennies more than 100 pennies? When is 61 more than 100? And it has nothing to do with money, so I'll give you that hint. So, let me give you an idea of something. Imagine that you are in a boat. You're going up the river, or you're going down the river, it doesn't matter. But in the boat you have a net, a fishing net. And you drag the net in the water. You drag the net through the water, and after, let's say, 30 minutes or an hour, you stop the boat and you pull the net up into the boat. And what's in the net? Well, you have fish, many different types of fish. You have small fish, and you have large fish, and you have fish that tastes delicious, and you have bitter fish. Okay? What do you do with the fish that comes into the boat that you don't want? What do you do with the fish that's bitter? What do you do with the fish that's small? Well, now the small fish, it may taste good, but you know there's only a very small amount of meat on it. So what do you do with the fish? Do you become angry at the fish for coming into the boat? You know, a person who's sane would probably just throw the fish back in the river. What if that little fish that you know tastes good, if you leave it there in the boat, it would die. If you throw it back in the river, it has a chance to grow, and maybe a year later you're going to catch that fish and pull it into the boat, and you'll have a nice big fish that's very succulent and delicious. And you can do one of two things with that fish. You can sell it, make some money, buy some necessities for living, or you can eat the fish. When people share with you ideas, think about those ideas as if they're fish. Do you become angry at the fish that comes into your boat that you can't eat, that you can't sell? If you're not crazy, you probably just throw it back in the river. If someone gives you an idea and it's not to your liking and it's a bitter, small fish, just throw it back. Well, I'm going to give you an idea that I think is a wonderful, excellent fish. And it has to do with, this idea has to do with what I was asking earlier. When is 61 more than 100? When is 6 days of work more productive than 7 days of work? Now, you may think to yourself that you can get more done in 7 days. The Bible tells us to take a day of rest for every 6 days of work. If you take 1 day of rest for every 6 that you work, you really will get more work done. When I work 7 days a week, I probably put in 5 or 6 hours a day. When I work 6 days and take 1 day off, I work 10 hours a day for 6 days. That's 60 hours. 5 times 7 is 35. 6 times 7 is 42. It's better to take 1 day off. Take a day off. Enjoy your life. Enjoy time with your family. You don't have to work 7 days. All right, that's the tip of the day. If it's not a fish for you, if it's a bitter fish to swallow, throw it back. Do your own thing, but I recommend taking a day of rest. All right, that's the tip of the day. I hope to catch you on another video, and have a good evening. have a good morning or have a good afternoon.